Hello guys, Josh from MC2000 here, and today I'm here for episode 18 of Comic Book Carnage. Today I want to talk about the Constantine TV show, which aired in 2004, ended 2015. Unfortunately it was cancelled due to low viewership, which was actually a shame because out of all the TV shows to come out of CW that are based on DC properties, Constantine is by far my favourite. And it was actually the first thing that got me into reading like the Hellblazer comics, Justice League Dark, Constantine, Hellblazer. All those comics I would not have even touched if it wasn't for this TV series. And basically, it first started when I saw him in clips for Season 4 of Arrow, and I'm like, oh, who's this guy? Okay, interesting. Played by Matt Ryan. Incredibly well played by Matt Ryan, might I add. And that was before... And then I'm kind of like, who is this Constantine? And I Google it, and I find the TV show by Matt Ryan, and I order the DVD. Yeah, I've got it on my shelf, actually. I have it on my shelf. Just give me a moment. Here. Yep, that's the box art. It's actually probably it is definitely my favorite. It is my favorite out of all the CW shows. Honestly, that's the way it is. Like, I prefer it over Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, all of them. And there's only the one season of it. Well, not even that. It's more like half a season. There's like 13 episodes before it got the plug pulled, and it leaves it on a massive cliffhanger. But kind of want to talk about it here today because I thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about, given the fact I've recently finished reading the original volume of Vertigo Hellblazer, which is the original run that ended in 2011. It was part of the Vertigo imprint, and it was actually the Vertigo imprint's longest running series, which I think it went to about 300 issues, maybe more, maybe less. Yeah, I think about 300. From what I remember when I did my project on, yeah, I think it was 300. And the thing is, I recently finished the first volume because there's like, I think there's about 15 odd volumes for it. It's a pretty long series. Like, well, it's about 300 issues. And basically, I could see that some of the episodes for the show had literally been ripped from the comic, but had slight tweaks. Because, like, for example, there was, I think, maybe 3 episodes. No, wait, 2 episodes were more or less identical with minor changes, and 1 was massively altered, which I thought was kind of, yeah, on reflection, it was actually better what they did with it in the show. I think the one in the comic was a bit strange, what they did, but then again, that's Vertigo. Vertigo does always have some of the weirdest stuff. I just want to talk about, before I go on, I'm just going to talk about the backstory of Constantine for a little bit. He originally appeared in Swamp Thing, and he was created by Alan Moore, which is funny, which is actually kind of funny, because a lot of my favourite comic book characters are actually created by Alan Moore. Characters based off of a Liverpudlian. It's a stereotypical Liverpudlian that the character is, basically. And before we got the TV show in 2014, we got a movie in 2005 with Keanu Reeves playing the part, and I've seen the movie. It's like, if you ask me, it's Constantine in name alone. They took some of the basic ideas from Constantine and then just completely butchered it. I mean, it has, like, it's a cult classic, and I really don't see why. It's actually not, like, I'm not knocking Keanu Reeves. He did a brilliant job in Matrix, brilliant job in John Wick. I love both of those franchises, but just he's not Constantine, nowhere near. Like, the character doesn't even feel like Constantine. And also you got the guy from Transformers that was in pretty much everything for a stint. He was also in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I can't think of his name, but most of the things that guy's in are just meh. Anyway, Matt Ryan plays John Constantine in the 2014 TV show. And can I just say, Matt literally, it's like the characters jumped off the page. It's like so true to the original. It's just crazy. I mean, even some of the photographs he put up on his social media while they were filming it were basically ripped off of cover art from the originals. And like, can I just say, some of the cover art in Hellblazer is amazing. I'm just gonna get my volume off the shelf here. Volume 1 Original Sins. This is the cover art. It's actually some of my favourite. And I mean, yeah, the artwork looks incredibly dated because it's like the time it was set, or when it was made rather. When the series was made, it was kind of a. It looks very dated. See. But it's probably a reflection of when Hellblazer was first created, which was kind of meh. But honestly, like, these are some of the cover arts. Like, they're actually like. One of Papa Midnight. Oh, and that's another thing I was gonna mention. Some characters are completely different in, like, that one is probably my favourite with John stood on the street there. You can't really see him because they're joining the book. You can't really see John because they're joining the book, but that's actually probably one of my favourites out of all of them. I think the ones with John in are always pretty solid. Then you've got a couple of issues of Swamp Thing in here as well. Yeah, but the art overall, for the time, is pretty solid. And, like, just the cover art and the work by Vertigo is just incredible. But with some of the earlier ones, you're there for the story primarily, not for the actual artwork, because the artwork's a bit meh by today's standards. But oh, also, by the way, this is Z. That is Z. That is Z from the TV show in the comic book. And also, getting onto that, Z as a character doesn't actually play in the TV show. They gave her a really big role, but in the actual comic, she's in it for like a couple of stories and she's gone. She's not even that much of a big deal. She's like, bam, a couple and gone. And she's not even in Waiting for the Man, which is the last episode of the season. She's not even in that. And talking about that, the original comic book story, in that, John's niece. John's niece was actually the girl that was taken. So the stakes are a lot more personal. And also, the way the guy dies is different. Because in the TV show, John kills him. Whereas in the actual comic book, in Hellblazer, the way he dies is a lot more indirect. So, like, yeah, but it's honestly, guys, they're both incredibly good. I think the TV show is good for those that are just looking to start getting into it. So I just get rid of that pop-up. It's good for those who are starting to get into the character and want to get a feel for the character, without having to spend 20 quid on a comic book they may or may not like. Because, I mean, like, you can get this for about tenner, maybe, Amazon. And I'll tell you something, it's well worth it. Matt Ryan's performance as John Constantine. Constantine as a character is so depressing, but at the same time he's really funny, he's witty, he's got a sense of humour. And John just... Matt just nails that. Look, I even went to call him John. No, literally, for me now, whenever I read the Hellblazer comics, I hear John's voice talking it. It's like, I imagine a similar kind of voice to John talking, a similar kind of voice to Matt talking John's lines. And also, he even reprised the role in Justice League Dark, the animated movie, recently. And he's reprising it again because they're restarting the Constantine they're restarting the Constantine series, but they're doing it as animated now on CW Seed. I'm not quite sure when it's starting, but I've seen the teaser trailer, so it's coming soon. And Matt's reprising the voice of John in that, and the animation style is reminiscent of Justice League Dark. More so than it is Vixen, for like the way John is like done in the animation. But like, I'm kind of glad we're getting Matt Ryan back doing Constantine, even if it isn't live action, because I would have liked them to carry on with this and bring this back instead of doing a animated series. But who knows? Maybe if the animated show does well, we will see this back, and they'll carry this on. Because I mean, like, even the guy who played Constantine himself literally got involved in the Save Constantine hashtag. And like, the entire crew did. It's like, from what I've read, behind the scenes, the entire crew had a blast filming it, and they all really enjoyed it. So, you know, I guess it sucks for them as well, because like, we enjoy watching it, but they also enjoyed creating it. So, it's kind of unfortunate for them. Like, but yeah, okay, they move on to do other things, but at the end of the day, it happens, you know. Like, comic book shows. There's a lot of comic book shows that get cancelled, like Young Justice, Constantine. I'm not even gonna go there listing them all off because I'll be here all day. That, and I've probably forgotten half of them. But I mean, if you're holding out on this, I'd recommend getting this, watching this, and then buying this. Or buy some of the newer stuff, like Justice League Dark. Because I've heard Justice League Dark is supposed to be good. I haven't read that much of it, but I have seen the animated TV show. No, the animated movie. But yeah, it is well worth. I'll put a link to both of them down in the description. Amazon link for both of them. It'll be a UK link, so just go in if you're American, just go in the top and like take out the UK and change it to .com. But yeah, I'll put Amazon links for both of these down in the description. I highly recommend them both. But the TV show, if you're a fan of Supernatural, you'll like it, because I think Supernatural was actually kind of... I'm going to go out on a limb and kind of say Supernatural was kind of trying to go for a Hellblazer vibe, but I haven't seen that much of Supernatural to know. I've seen a couple of episodes based off of what someone said. They said, oh, you like Constantine, I bet you would love Supernatural. So I tried a couple of episodes. I didn't know what was going on because I was too late. It was already like, it was like season God knows what, and I already kind of had no idea what was going on in it. But, with Supernatural, imagine John split into two people, and that's basically what Supernatural is. But Constantine is just like, it's based off of the comics more, and honestly, I really loved the way they adapted Feast of Friends, because I actually think Feast of Friends, I think it cleared up a lot of the iffy business with... It basically makes John look better in the TV show, but I think that's kind of supposed to be part of John's character, though. He's slimy as a con man. He's not a hero. But they altered that in the TV show, and I kind of prefer that because you kind of write off the other character as like, oh, he's terrible. Like he's a terrible person. Like you write that off in the comics, but in the TV show, he's like, I knew this is what we'd have to do. Just do it. I'm not protesting. Do it. It's my mistake. I can take the consequences. You know, and I think it kind of redeems that other character a little bit, and also kind of makes John look less like an asshole. But you know, John doesn't need much help doing that. And also, can I just say, the character Manny, I haven't come across him in the comics yet. But I actually really like the guy's performance. I can't remember the name of the guy who played Manny. And I don't want to say the name of the lady that played Zed, because I have a horrible fear I'm going to butcher it. But it's not that hard to find a cast list on Google for Constantine. You're just going to make sure you're looking at the 2014 Constantine, not the 2005. But anyway, guys, that's been about it. I just wanted to do this little discussion talking about one of my favourite TV shows from the CW universe. And I must admit, if you've already watched this and you haven't seen his Arrow episodes, I'd say just see if you can find them online. If not, pick up season 4. Because honestly, Arrow, from what I've heard, I've only seen the first 2 seasons. I stopped watching it because there was a noticeable dip in quality, so I stopped watching it. But from what I've heard, John's episode in the 4th season is really worth watching, because I've just seen... I saw some clips of it on YouTube, and it's basically... He's the same as he is in this. He's no different. He's basically... And also, apparently, he's going to be joining the Legends of Tomorrow soon, in the next season of that. So, I'm going to want to get caught up on Legends. So that's actually given me a pretty big shopping list of stuff to catch up on. But as Constantine is one of my favourite DC/Vertigo characters, I thought I'd want to talk about it. And also, it's been a topic that's been on my mind to do for a while now. Sorry if the lighting isn't too good. I've had to mess around with the brightness, the contrast, all sorts to try and get it half decent. But it's getting a bit late now because I've just got in from work and the sun's starting to go in, so the lighting's a little iffy. I apologise. You'll have to bear with me, but I'm doing the best I can here until I can get a bit more of a better setup, because I'm recording all this in my room still. And I also still have no intro. So I will see all of you guys in the next video.